From entering the league in 2011 through 2017, he missed just 3 games. And of course, he was a league MVP and went to a Super Bowl. But going back to 2018 now, he has missed 16 games, including back-to-back season-ending injuries to his throwing shoulder and his foot. So as we look at this situation, again, Mike Tannenbaum, I'll come back to you as a general manager. How does this play out for him?
I think the landing spot for me would be New England. And I know that's not a great scheme fit, but I worked for Coach Belichick a couple of times. He likes to sign players that have given him trouble defending. And Cam Newton is 2-0 against Coach Belichick. When healthy, he averages 10 wins a year, 33 touchdowns, and maybe there's a package for him. The big question on Cam is he healthy? But he's a weapon, and I know he's not exactly what Jarrett Stidham is or certainly what Tom Brady was, but it could give them a different element to that New England offense.
So I've been lobbying this for the longest time, if only because I'm in the interesting business, and nothing could be more interesting than Cam Newton going to New England. Dan Orlovsky, do you like it?
No, I don't. I haven't. I mean, New England would have to scrap everything they've done in their playbook for the last 20 years and totally bring in a new thought process for Cam Newton. So I don't see it. I think it's important to point this out. Like, Cam is not signed on a team, not because he can't play anymore, right? Like, this isn't a guy that his talent all of a sudden fell off and teams are like, well, do we want to bring him on? Is it worth it anymore? This is all tied to that shoulder injury really from 2018. You know, a big question that teams are going to have to ask Cam Newton is, what is your expectation for your role? What is your expectation for your money? And then are you still willing to be a runner with the football? Because if Cam Newton sits there and says, yes, I'm going to give you 100 carries a year, I feel healthy, my body is good, that year off was really big for me, then Cam's a starter. There's no question about it. But if Cam goes, you know what, I don't want that to be part of my game anymore. It got me to here. I'm not going to be used as a runner. Then that really minimizes his window or teams that will allow him to be a part of their team. And so, listen, teams that you can say need to upgrade or should upgrade their backup quarterback spot, you could look at Tennessee if Cam's willing to be a backup there. You could look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. You could look at the Denver Broncos. You could look at Seattle. You could look at the Dallas Cowboys and upgrading their backup quarterback spot for a playoff caliber football team. So that's the question for Cam. What role does he want?
Yeah, to me, Neek, that brings up the question of psyche. And you've talked a lot about psychology on the show over the last few days involving Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Does Cam Newton feel to you like a guy who is ready to walk into a building someplace and say, all good, I'm the backup, I'm just going to take that role?
Absolutely not. I agree with all the things that Dan was saying, except for some of those teams that have established quarterbacks. Like, why would Cam Newton at this age want to go behind Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson? Like, Cam Newton should want to and probably does want to go to a place like the Buffalo Bills. I like that spot for him because that's a situation where the offense is not that different from what he's used to. The quarterback who's starting is doing kind of an imitation of Cam and how he plays. I think that's a place where he would want to go. I'm sure that it's not something Josh Allen would welcome necessarily, but I'm not sure that Cam Newton doesn't give them a better chance to take over the AFC East than any other quarterback that they have on their roster or that is currently available.
Well, I'm going to quote a great man, and that man is named Domonique Foxworth. You once said on this show, Josh Allen is a poor man's, no, a destitute man's Cam Newton. So Dan, I'll come back to you. If Cam Newton is healthy, if he is all the things you just described, is he a better starting quarterback for Buffalo than the one they have?
I don't see that, no. I think Josh Allen is this player that's ascending and on the rise. And not only on the field, but off the field. He's really taken ownership of the Buffalo Bills. And he is a version of what Cam was once as a young player. And so if I'm Buffalo, while I do believe it would impact our football team if I had to turn to him on the field, I wouldn't do that because I want to make sure that Josh Allen knows, you're our guy. We believe in you. This is your team. And I always talk about this process, Greeny, becoming the CEO of the billion-dollar company, and I wouldn't want to undermine a young player that is on the trajectory.
Go ahead, Nick.
I could understand that. I buy that point that potentially it's disruptive to have someone come in there and undermine Josh Allen. But you know what helps? Balling. And you know what Cam Newton can do? He can ball. You saw that playoff game that they had last year where Josh Allen was throwing balls across his body to fullbacks deep down the field and trying to do laterals and whatnot. I think Josh Allen is a young, talented quarterback. He's gotten better, but he's not Cam Newton in his prime. And the idea that you think that there's even something to think about, that if Cam Newton can return to the form that he was before that he was hampered by these injuries, that him and Josh Allen are even in the same conversation, I think is a little bit absurd.
Mike T, I got 15 seconds for you. Go.
I agree with Zeke. If healthy, if Cam Newton signed with Buffalo, he would be the best quarterback in the AFC East today. I'm not talking about for the next 5 years, Sam Darnold or Tua. I'm saying right now, Josh Allen has a fatal flaw. He was inconsistent down the field at Wyoming. He was inconsistent in that playoff game, and he was last year. Cam Newton would be the best quarterback
He came for your man, Darnold.
The look on Dan Orlovsky's face echoes the feeling in my soul. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.